Hi, my name is Jeff Hintz. I work for Dominion Voting Systems, the manufacturer of the new voting system that Monroe County is going to be using tomorrow in their election. This system here replaces their old optical mark system, which was used for scanning of the ballots, and also their ADA system, which was used for the disabled voters. It's an all-in-one system that can do both of those functions. Tomorrow, when it actually goes out to the polling location, it'll be enclosed with the lid on top. It'll have seals, security seals on the front and also on the back. And when the poll workers get there in the morning, they will verify their security seals. They'll break their security seals. They'll remove the top. And in the back of the unit is the power cord and the accessories needed for the disabled voters. So they'll go ahead and unwind the power cable. And then they'll go ahead and plug it in to an outlet. Once they hear that beep, that means it has power to the unit. There'll be a dark green light indicator here that it has power to the unit itself. That means you do have electricity and you know it's very valid. What they'll do to start the unit then is just simply lift up the screen. They'll hear a new noise, which is indicating that the system is booting up and going through all its checks. They'll go ahead and lift up the privacy screen. And it'll start its function of booting all the system up. While it's doing that, they can do two things. Which they'll do in the morning is they'll take their keys and they'll open up the ballot box and verify that there's no ballots in there. In this case, I do have some from a previous test, but they'll verify nothing's inside, lock it back up. They'll go ahead and remove their ATI device for the disabled voter, connect it to the side, and also connect the headset for audio. And plug it into the bottom jack on the right-hand side. The left-hand side is also a jack for sip and puff or jelly pads for other disabled voters if necessary. We'll just leave that here off to the back until it's necessary to utilize for a disabled voter. So it'll take a minute to boot up. So once it starts making the beeping noise, it indicates to the poll worker that they have to attach the security token to the side of the unit to be able to access the unit itself. And they will have a username and a password that they have to put in order to access the system. Once they access the system, it's going to load all the information that's pertinent to this particular polling location, whether it's precinct 1 or precinct 10, along with all the election files that go along with it, which races, which candidates, etc. will be loaded onto the system. And this will take a minute to do so, and then once that gets done, will be to the poll worker screen for them to open up the polls. So now we're to our poll worker screen. So they're going to go ahead and open the poll in the morning to start the unit up so it's ready for voting. And as soon as they open the polls, it'll start printing out a zero tape. This verifies that all races, all candidates, and all precincts for this particular machine is set to 0. Once the tape is finished, they'll go ahead and check everything set at 0. They'll sign off on it at the bottom of the tape. They'll go ahead and roll it up and just leave it here on the back of the unit, so when the final results are printed, we attach to the zero tape. So the next step the poll worker has to do is say no to printing is complete. They don't want another copy. And as they come up and ask them one of 4 different options. To close the poll, which will be done at the end of the night. Standard voting, which is going to be done 99% of the time. Accessible voting for the disabled voter. And then utilities can do some different reports and options that are inside of utilities. So they're going to start out right away in the morning and touch standard voting. They're going to hit start, confirm they want to start. And at this point in time, it's ready for the voter to come in and start voting. So the poll worker has nothing else to do at this point in time other than their standard process, handing out a ballot to the voter. The voter goes ahead to the privacy booth, fills in their ovals, comes to the machine, puts the ballot in, validates the ballot, scans it, increments the total, and registers with a little bell at the end. So that'll be the standard voting all day long. Voter comes in, any direction. The machine can handle the ballot. Forwards, backwards, upside down. So it'll be just a continuous process all day long. Now, if a voter went ahead and marked their ballot incorrectly, they didn't read the instructions of fill in the oval, say they checked the different names off to the side. The machine is totally voter interactive, so it's going to tell their voter, warning, you have a blank ballot. Please make sure that you use the proper marking pen and filled in the ovals correctly. If they want to go ahead, they can return the ballot then. Verify what they did, go back over to the privacy booth, get their marking pen, fill in the ovals like the instructions said to do so. Doesn't matter, the checks are still there because it's not reading that portion of the ballot. Put the ballot in, it's going to scan the ballot and increment the total. If the voter by mistake marked too many ovals, again, voter interactive, the machine is going to tell you, warning, you have an overvote. At least one contest has too many votes, and it exactly tells you which contest that you chose 2 when only 1 was allowed. So you can then go ahead and return it. Get another ballot be reissued, come back and vote. Or if they didn't care that that particular contest was overvoted, they can go ahead and cast. They can touch either here or down here. Hit cast. Are you sure you wish to cast this overvoted ballot? Yes, I do. Goes ahead and scans it and increments the total. So again, this will be done 99% of the time. But if a disabled voter does come in, say somebody that might be partially blind but declared legally blind, comes in, they wish to go ahead and vote, they will come over to the machine, they'll touch their security token, and they'll get back to the same screen we started in the morning. This time we're going to say accessible voting, we're going to say start, we're going to say OK. Okay, so it's ready to initiate the AV session. You put in a blank ballot. You hand the headset and the ATI to the disabled voter, and it'll start the audio session and give them instructions on what to do on the ATI device. So it goes through and gives me instruction on what I'm supposed to do. If I want to touch the X, it'll go ahead and show it on the screen. If I press the down blue arrow, there'll be nothing shown on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and do the screen and also do the audio. It explains the ATI device. Top left-hand corner is volume. Top right-hand corner is rate. Yellow arrows are left and right. Blue arrows are up and down. The X to make your selection. And the green button at the bottom is for your help. So I'm going to start the audio session. I can zoom it. If I'm saying I'm partially blind, I see some of the ballot. I can increase the size of it. And now it goes ahead and starts reading each contest. So now it's saying mayor, vote for 1. I look for my candidates. Once I find the candidate of my choice, I will press the X button to mark it, and I'll continue on to the next race on the ballot. Utility board member group 3, vote for 1. Find the candidate of my choice. Continue on to the next race. Find the candidate of my choice, mark it. Now I've reached the end of the ballot. Now I can either press the X to vote my ballot or press the blue arrow to review. I'm going to press the X. And what it's doing right now is taking that blank ballot and it's filling in those oval positions for me, just how I marked it on the screen. Once it's done printing the ballot, it'll reverse it back into the side of the machine, and just like a regular voter, I put the ballot in, it verifies the ballot, scans it, counts it, and drops it in the ballot box. Automatically returns right back to standard voting. So if I had another audio session to bring up, I would go ahead and use the security key. If not, I can just replace the headset and the ATI in the back, and then continue voting, standard voting, the rest of the day. So another voter comes in and continues voting just as before. Once polls close at the end of the night, 7 o'clock, the poll worker will take their security token, touch it to the side, and just like we had in the morning, brings up the 4 different options. Now we're going to select close poll. We're going to select close. It's going to ask us for our username and password. And it's going to give us a closed poll confirmation. Are you sure you wish to continue? Yes. And then it's going to give us a warning. Are there any emergency ballots in the back of the unit? Meaning that if the machine did go down during the daytime, say power went out or something like that happened, in the back of the unit we have our emergency or auxiliary bin. And inside of here, if voters couldn't utilize the machine, they could vote and still drop their ballot inside of the security bin, which I don't have open. In any case, they would check inside the auxiliary bin, see if there's any ballots in there. In this case, there isn't. So they go ahead and lock it back up. Say, yes, I'm done. And at that point in time, just like at the beginning of the morning, where it printed out our 0 tape, now it's going to print out our results from all the ballots that were scanned during the day while voting was open. So once the results are printed, they'll go ahead again, sign at the bottom of the tape. This time they'll tear it off. They'll put their final 0 tape and results tape in their envelope to bring back to the office. If they wish to print more copies, they can do so simply by saying yes on the screen. If not, if they're done doing results, they'll go to no. The last thing that we have left to do is send those results to the server. It's located at the central office, so we'll do results transfer. The back of the unit, we have an external modem device. We're going to go ahead and connect the external modem on the side of the unit. And we'll find our extension cord, our 25-foot telephone cord, which will connect to the wall and also connect to the modem. Once we make the connection, we're going to say start to transfer the results. Okay to transfer the results, yes. We're going to say okay. It's going to detect the modem. Once the modem is detected, it will go ahead and send those results to the central server and give us a confirmation that results have been connected and sent. So once that's done, it'll go ahead and give us a printout saying that results have been sent. Do you wish to print another copy? We're going to say no. At that point in time, we're completely done with this system. We're going to go ahead and shut it down. And we'll go ahead and we have actually 2 of these units in each location, so we'll do this same process for both systems. While the system's shutting down, we can disconnect our cables. And just like we started in the morning, we'll go ahead and collapse the screen. Go to the back of our unit, unplug the power, disconnect our ATI device. Go ahead and roll up our power cord. Put away our modem. Put away our headset. Go ahead and roll up our ATI device. Secure it to the back of the unit. And just like we opened up in the morning, we're going to put the lid right back on. And the poll workers will have 2 additional seals to go ahead and seal up both the front and the back again, and then go ahead and roll it back to where they pulled it out in the morning, and then the city workers will come back on Wednesday and pick up the units and bring them back to the election office.